Hey YouTube, what's going on? Scott again, bringing you a few updates from the past couple of days. I haven't been on, I don't think, since I think it was Sunday. I think it was the last video I uploaded. A few things to talk about. Number one, as you can see, in a Dallas jersey, my Dallas Cowboys beat the New York Giants again this year. Swept them like they did last year and the year before. My apologies for my breathing. Just a little out of breath from walking up the stairs. But, yep, the Dallas Cowboys beat the New York Giants 37-15, I believe the score was. We are in first place in our division. Looks like we're in shape for a good playoff run. I'm not going to jinx anything right now, still too far to talk about that. Got a lot of good games coming up with a lot of good teams that are probably going to give us a run for our money. And the other couple of things I want to talk about. First off, Monday Night Raw, my reaction to that. The beginning of the show, of course, utterly useless. WWE Champion Brock Lesnar comes out, does his little spiel. Well, I should say Paul Heyman does his little spiel, wanting to get his hands on Rey Mysterio for what happened at Crown Jewel when Rey was attacking him with a chair. And of course, Lesnar being Lesnar has to poke at Jerry Lawler. And one of the other announcers, I believe his name is Dio, got up when Lesnar put his hands on Lawler. Seriously, I mean, come on. Jerry Lawler has had such a, long and great career. Don't sit there and poke fun at the fact that, he almost died a few years ago on the air when he had a heart attack. If you guys remember, there was no talking during one match. I think it was about 2 or 3 years ago when Jerry Lawler had a heart attack at ringside. And Paul Heyman was poking fun at that. If he unleashed Brock Lesnar on Lawler, then, they wouldn't be able to resuscitate him when he died on the air again. I mean, come on. I know this is all scripted and everything, but I mean, seriously, there's just some lines you don't cross, and that is one of the lines you don't cross. Poking fun at somebody who almost died on live television. I mean, that's just tasteless. And then, Rey Mysterio comes out with a lead pipe and just starts beating the hell out of Lesnar. And I'm not going to lie, I enjoyed that. I enjoy seeing Brock Lesnar getting decimated like he did. And the belt shot to the head. I mean, we haven't seen that in WWE in, my God, years. I mean, I think when DX first got back together is when they stopped doing that. I think like right after their tag team title run, they stopped doing that because they were afraid of concussions. And, I get that. But, I mean, headshots with titles and chairs and kendo sticks and all this other stuff, sledgehammers. It's been a part of wrestling forever. And I get it, the safety of the wrestlers. I get it. But, it was great to see Lesnar finally. Well, I really can't say finally because he has gotten his before, but it was just nice that Rey Mysterio did it. He did it for himself. He did it for Cain Velasquez. He did it for his son. He mostly did it for his son. Because Lesnar has just been brutally attacking Dominic for what reason? There's no reason behind it, so I don't get it. There was a women's tag team match with Natalya and Charlotte Flair, and who they faced escapes me for the moment. I want to say it was the Iconics, but something tells me I'm wrong. But, Charlotte she didn't even look like she was interested. She didn't even have that much time in the match. Natalya picked up the win. No, it was the Kabuki Warriors. That's right. It was the Kabuki Warriors. Yeah, I mean, after Natalya and Lacey Evans, they killed it at Crown Jewel. Again, scripted, I get it. But, the clap that the golf clap, I mean, you're part of a women's division who just made history again. This women's division has been making history for a number of years now. And you're just going to sweep it under. Why? Because you're Ric Flair's daughter? Because you have 10 title wins? You're 6 away from breaking your father's record? 7, sorry? But, I mean, come on. Again, scripted, I get it. But just show a little class. Those two tore it up in Saudi Arabia. The Kabuki Warriors, they looked like they gave more of a shit than Charlotte did. I mean, if what is she, jealous because she didn't do it? And if that's the case, all well and good. They didn't want you. They wanted somebody else to get the spotlight. Get over it. Plain and simple. And Seth Rollins, I mean, my heart goes out to the guy. It took him so long to get the Universal title off of Brock Lesnar, to have him lose it at Crown Jewel, which I think we all knew was kind of going to happen anyway. But, like he said, all that hard work, all that frustration and the fighting and the energy wasted. That's basically what it was. It was wasted for what he had to accomplish to get the title off of Lesnar. And then to go into Crown Jewel, Falls Count Anywhere, it can't be stopped, won't be stopped for any reason until there's a definitive winner. Great concept. I love the concept. But, again, he doesn't know what to do. And then his old authority buddy, Triple H, comes out, says, we want you in NXT for Survivor Series. And then here comes the Undisputed Era. Triple H is like, you're either with me or you're against me. Because I honestly feel that Triple H sees Seth as a threat. If Seth stays on Monday Night Raw and helps Raw defeat NXT, then, he's a threat. He's a legit threat. But you have him on NXT, you bring him over for NXT like you did with Finn Balor, you got a shot at winning. So I can't really fault Hunter's, can't fault his thinking process on that one. So they cut away, OC comes out, tries to get the upper hand on everybody, and then it was basically a setup for NXT to come in and just start wailing on everybody. But they didn't touch Rollins. Rollins was in the ring, just mulling over what Triple H said to him, with us or against us. He doesn't know. So they come back from commercial, and you see Triple H walking down the corridor, and Seth stops him and says, you want me? I want the title. You're going to put me in a match tonight against Adam Cole for the NXT title. And Triple H, it was not even, didn't even give it a second thought. No second hesitation. Just said, you got it. It's yours. Welcome back. Slapped him on the shoulder, and off he walks. It was a great match. Well paced, well done. My congrats to Seth and to Adam Cole. Adam Cole doing his thing in NXT. He's been the champion. I'm not exactly sure how long he's been champion for, but I know it's been a while. But to have Adam Cole go up against Seth Rollins, the very first NXT champion, who wouldn't love that match? But of course, it got broken up when Seth was getting ready to win. Undisputed Era came in, and then whole locker room brawl with NXT and Raw. It was a great show. It was honestly a really good show. Monday Night Raw did not disappoint. Can't say much of anything else about it. You know, I'm looking forward to Survivor Series to see how they do all these matches. You know, and one more thing before I get to the episode of Arrow. You know, Rey Mysterio did challenge Brock Lesnar for the WWE title. And, you know, it's going to be what they call David versus Goliath. They throw that out anytime some big guy fights some little dude. Happens all the time. But yeah, that was my thoughts on Monday Night Raw and Arrow last night. I mean, like I told you guys in my Arrow reaction last week when the kids showed up. I mean, my God, this cast, man, they did such an amazing job. I mean, you were invested in the entire episode, and I'm going to wind up doing, let me just say this now, you know, spoiler alert, if you have not seen it, you know, I'm going to spoil a couple of things. So if you have not seen Arrow just yet, I suggest click off the video right now until you go see it, because it was a great episode. So here we go. Ends up starting off with the kids in the bunker with Ollie, Dig, Dinah, and Renee. Wanted to know what was going on. Evidently, they time traveled somehow. You know, and Oliver and William, his son, were talking. You know, Mia's still having problems with Oliver leaving his family behind at the cabin, which I think most of us would probably, in real life anyway, would probably hold a grudge against our fathers if they did that to us. But, you know, they're trying to go after the Deathstroke gang, or the start of the Deathstroke gang, and, you know, they wheel a elderly gentleman into the hospital, you know, and everyone just thinks it's just a routine, you know, chest pain. All of a sudden, open up, boom, there's a bomb. And they pan to a Deathstroke member. I thought it was JJ, Dig's legitimate son, because Connor is his adopted son. I didn't know that. So they then the kids say to each other, you know, should we tell them, you know, what happened with Zoe, and, you know, who killed Zoe, and how the future is, because it's so screwed up. And Mia's just like, no, we can't do that. And at first I'm thinking to myself, you know, why? I mean, for real. You know, if you want to stop everything that's happening in your future, this is the time to do it. I mean, you know, I get you're still upset over your father and you don't want his help at this point in time, but I mean, come on. If something like that happened in real life, anybody who's anybody knows, you would try to go back to your past and fix it to prevent your future from looking so, you know, shitty. But, yeah, then the kids decide to go investigate the beginning hideout of the Deathstroke gang. And they even think JJ is behind it, and it winds up being Slade's son, which I think I heard his name was Graham. And, you know, it wound up being a trap. And luckily for the kids, Oliver and company, I know it was a movie, but Oliver and the team decided to track them, and it was a good thing they did, because if they didn't, well, they wouldn't have kids. and they go back to the bunker, and Oliver's like, it's a good thing we tracked you guys. Oh, no, I'm sorry, Laurel said that. It's a good thing we tracked you guys, otherwise, you guys would have been dead. And Mia's still upset at the fact, she feels that she is responsible for Zoe's death. And that's when Oliver comes up and is like, okay, you guys need to tell us what's going on. We have a right to know what's going on in the future. Tell us now. And Connor gets up, and William, they both say, the future's not what it looks like now. There's no peace. The Glades are so screwed up. It's run by gangs and drug lords and all these other bad influences. And then they get to the part where, William can't take it no more. He has to tell Renee and Dig what happened in the future between JJ and Zoe, and he does. And as you would expect, Renee he shuts down completely. John tries to go after him, and it's just, it doesn't work. Renee is just so distraught over the fact that he knows that in a few years, his daughter is going to die by Dig's son. And, Renee walks off, and Connor comes up, and he's trying to talk to Dig. He says, Dad, I'm so sorry. And Dig's just like, for real, man? You knew the truth the whole time, and you lied to my face. And it was just, now I don't want to say bickering, because it really wasn't bickering. It was trying to figure out what to do next. And then it just, Mia tried to go off and find Slade's son on her own. Maybe she thought, actually, not maybe, she did think that, you kill him, the Deathstroke gang don't, start up. Or it dies before it starts up. So, she tries to go, and Oliver's not letting her go. He's trying to be a protective father. And Mia's just like, dude, you don't get out of my way. I'm going to show you what Nyssa Al Ghul decided to teach me, and you ain't going to like it. So Laurel finally stands up, comes on over, and says, you know what, I'll go with her. And then Oliver moves aside and lets her go. And Curtis is in the episode. Curtis makes his triumphant return. It was great to see Curtis. He was so funny, talking like so fast, you couldn't really understand his words, but oh man, it was such a refreshing pace, such a refreshing change of pace to see Curtis back. Kudos to you, sir. You have done a great job with this character. And anytime you're on screen, it's always a pleasure to see you. So yeah, Mia and Laurel go back to the hospital where the first explosion blew up to try and find clues to maybe where Slade's son is. And Laurel's just like, I've seen that look before. I know what that look means. And Mia just has this look on her face like, I need to kill this guy. I need to kill Slade's son. Otherwise, Zoe's never going to live again. And Laurel's just like, don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Because if you wind up killing him, it's not going to make you feel any better. It's just going to make the pain so much more worse because you took a life. And she reminded Mia that she had to do that for Felicity, her mother. From killing, Ricardo Diaz. Remember, she almost killed Ricardo Diaz with a gun. Almost shot him in the head. So, they all conglomerate together, figure out this plan. A little subplot on the side. They found some kind of cloth, and they're going to try and replicate it. And I'll come back to that at the end. So the whole team goes together. They go do their superhero thing. And they find the Deathstrokes. Big, huge fight. I mean, congrats to the choreography team. They did such a great job. I mean, this episode gives you everything. It gives you action. It gives you drama. It gives you comedy. It gives you everything all into one episode. And I think a lot of these episodes have done that, throughout the course of the show's series and seasons. But this one was top notch, and I give you guys, the directors, everything, congratulations. But again, we'll come back to that at the end. So they find Slade's son, and Mia and him they start going at it. They start butting heads. They start fighting. And, Oliver shoots an arrow that pretty much puts him in a straitjacket, but like with wires. And, Mia draws an arrow to try and kill him. Oliver steps right in the way. He's like, no, you can't do that. I'm not letting you do that to yourself. I'm not letting you kill this man. Come back from commercial, find out Slade is in Bloodhaven, making sure in Bloodhaven prison, and they're going to keep an eye on him, make sure he does not get out to be an influence on JJ, and to start up the Deathstroke gang. So we can only hope that that part of the story is changed for Dig's son. And then Mia and Oliver go to the gravesite of Oliver's parents. And Mia just asks her dad, when does the guilt stop? Does it ever stop? And Oliver just says, no. You just have to learn how to deal with it. How you deal with it is trying to make the city that you're trying to save better. You make your city better, in turn that kind of it'll cope with you, losing people. And hell, for all we know, Zoe's probably alive. And, Renee gives a speech to the Glades, like, guys, we've always been told we're the outsiders, we're the losers, we're, all these things. We have to change ourselves so that the other people on the other side can see us as their equal. And I'm just thinking, great message. That is such a great message. And then Curtis gives Oliver a call, and it's just, you want the long version, you want the short version. Cause I hope you really want the long version, because the long version is so scientific. And Oliver's just like, dude. And Curtis is like, okay, short version. And it's basically, yes, he can replicate the cloth that he had found, but it's illegal, number one. And number two, you need plutonium. I'm like, what, Back to the Future? What are you going to go up to 88 miles an hour and try and change it? You already did that. This is basically Back to the Future. This is basically the Back to the Future episode. But, oh man. And next week looks just as good. I mean, the kids are still there. They haven't gone back to their own time. They kind of leave it on a cliffhanger that somebody might get shot. It could be Mia, it could be Oliver, it could be somebody. But the Monitor, who's in charge of all this, who's in charge of, getting Oliver to help for Infinite Crisis coming up, I honestly think the Monitor is behind what gets Oliver killed. Because at the end of the episode, he tries to get Laurel to betray Oliver. And either that happens next week, or it happens before Infinite Crisis, or it happens in Infinite Crisis. I don't know. We don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But like I was saying during the whole reaction of what I thought the episode was, I mean, the direction, the choreography, the story, the characters. I mean, it is really gonna be sad to see this series go. I mean, if they wind up doing something with the kids, that's great. I'll tune in and watch it, because these actors that are playing their kids, oh my God, 2 thumbs up. So that is my reaction video for the Dallas Cowboys whooping the New York Giants again, even with a black cat in there. They've got so many memes on there now. Just go on Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat. They'll have so many freaking things about that stupid cat. Monday Night Raw, Arrow, AEW is tonight, NXT is tonight. I may not be watching AEW tonight. I may tune into NXT. But what I'll try to do for my next reaction video, which may be tomorrow, I really don't know. But if I can, I will do a reaction for NXT and AEW in the same video. If not, there'll be 2 different videos. But, you know, with that said, hit the like button, comment, subscribe. Guys, I do this out of love for sports, for movies, for TV, for video games. I do it all for the love of everything. You guys want more? I'll give you more. You guys have a suggestion for what you want me to review? I'll do it. You know, just let me know in the comment section below. Guys, I'm here for you. We're all fans of everything. You want to know something? Let me know and I'll do it. Peace, guys.